Greetings from Cybertron. This is Michael, aka SoundJack, and before we get into the video, I want to give a quick update about things happening on my end. I know I was finally getting BotBot Series 4 reviews out earlier this year, which then abruptly stopped without explanation. So a couple of months ago, I moved into a new house, finally moving in with Alyssa, who some folks might remember from a while back when I tried to do more than just reviews on this channel. Since the move, I've been working on getting the house together, getting things moved in and sorted, and I've got most of my collection moved in, but the BotBots are still at my mom's because I haven't had a chance to move the Detolfs over here yet. Once they're finally in place, I'll get back on those reviews, hopefully in time for some potential new BotBots news if Mark from Hasbro Screen that had a folder titled BotBots Awesome is anything to go by. Also, I have started a second channel, Michael Blaine on Display, which you should definitely follow, where I use my Transformers as a medium to reenact stories from my life. I do decide to upload these videos on a fresh channel because typically only BotBots videos do well on this channel. Even non-BotBot Transformers stuff seems to scare off some subs every time. But I promise I'll get to the rest of Series 4 and Series 5 BotBots soon. Trademark. Anyway, on to the video! Another year has come and gone. Another year in this depressing reality we live in. But hey, there's media and material goods to distract us from how the world is crumbling around us. And who would I, a robot man, be if I didn't talk about what I spend most of my money on? The Transformers! And this year was a really good year for Transformers toys in my totally factual objective statement. Some ground rules for any new folks before we get started. This list is based on what I got this year, meaning if I didn't get something, don't expect it on the list. If you want to know what all I got this year, check out my Instagram and Twitter. I usually make a post about my recent gets every 2 weeks-ish. That also means, though, that even if the toy wasn't released in 2021, it can still be on here. All that matters is that I got it in 2021. Okay? Okay, cool. With that, let's get started with the countdown. Number 10. Kingdom Dinobot. Dinobot is one of my all-time favorite characters, and by far my favorite Beast Wars character. Sadly, there weren't any toys that really looks good for a while, until the high-end Masterpiece version, though at $300 plus, no thanks. But this year we were blessed with an updated version of Chopperface in this year's retail line, Kingdom. It is a spectacular piece that does its best to replicate the show model while still being able to convert into a raptor, and it succeeds on that front, especially given how the show model transforms. He even comes with his main weapons, the split tail shield rotor weapon thing, and, of course, his iconic sword. Though in a very strange purple that's probably trying to recreate the shot from his big iconic episode, though it does kind of make it look a bit like a TOS violation. Sadly, he's by no means perfect, which is why he's at the start of this list. His raptor hands are very weird with how they're molded, his robot ankles are very loose, and you have to have his parts in a certain way or else the panels covering his beast legs, robot arms in raptor mode will not sit flush. I would have also appreciated a bit more paint on his calves. They have a lot of the detailing they should, but nothing below the thighs has any paint whatsoever. It's something I can theoretically take care of myself, so it's a bit of a minor point, but it might have helped him out. Regardless, he still makes it number 10 on my list. Number 9. Kingdom Black Arachnia. Black Arachnia is also a prominent character in the Beast Wars show, but any toys of her Season 1 design were wildly inaccurate or had difficulties trying to get her to look like she did on the TV while dealing with her spider abdomen. Kingdom Black Arachnia honestly amazed me at how clean the robot mode was while getting a spider with a proper abdomen going on. It is barely holding together, but again, I was astounded when I first saw that they actually managed to pull off that design. Obviously, there are parts of her legs showing on the sides, but again, it could have been a lot worse. While her robot mode design can be a bit of a weird topic, especially since the modeler based it on an Asian stripper he saw the night before making it, not a joke. Everything looks as it should, and it all works well together. And again, the robot mode is so clean. Any kibble present, like those dangling spider legs on her arms, is supposed to be there. And speaking of the spider legs, they might wear down a bit over time, but certainly right now they are solidly keeping her spider mode standing. The storage of the arms in spider mode isn't great, since they're only held in place by her hands loosely holding onto her heels and tapping into each other with small thin tabs. You can also store the weapon in this mode in other tabs in the arms to help hold it together, but that still doesn't always get the job done. In robot mode, the biggest issue is her hip rotation. In the show, she was shown kicking the crap out of Maximus with various high kicks, but the nine-eyed spider crotch prevents her legs from properly swinging forward and can't be moved out of the way to accommodate it. Regardless, this is still a fantastic toy, and I'd be shocked if Hasbro could top it anytime soon. Number 8. Kingdom Galvatron. Behold, Galvatron. Galvatron appears in time for the 35th anniversary of the original 1986 film in an incredibly accurate and well-designed toy looking like the silver screen design. This feels almost like a miracle considering how poor Galvatron's 2017 toy is. That toy's problems definitely began with the gimmick of the line it was in, but now that Kingdom Galvatron does not belong to any toy gimmick, the toy is able to go ham to bring the best version the Mad Purple Tyrant can probably get. The robot mode gets the looks exactly right, and it has great articulation. There are bits of kibble that get in the way, but those bits were present in the original design. His mobile cannon, I guess, mode is just as clean as his robot mode. The coolest part of his alternate mode is how the back end can move to be in different positions so the cannon can get a better shot at traitors that try to leave him adrift in space. Galvatron also comes with a matrix on a chain, just like the one he had in the film, and with an extra pair of blasters that look like the ship that Unicron gave him in the film. Interesting choice, but okay. When this toy was first released, there was a widespread assembly error that put Galvatron's shoulders on backwards. It didn't hinder his movement, but it looked very unsightly. Mine was spared the error, thank Primus. Also, I must say, I do not understand why the cannon is partially painted when it's already cast in a clear orange plastic. Like, if you're going to do that, at least fill the whole section up to the molded line instead of whatever they did here. I know he's got some battle damage, but that's not battle damage. That's how far Galvatron got coloring in his therapy session on Torculon before he decided to choke out the one that gave him the task. Regardless, this Galvatron is definitely a good update. Number 7. Kingdom Tigertron. Tigertron may be basically an upscaled version of Cheetor from the same line, but he just works so much better than Cheetor. While Cheetor feels like some robot proportions were compromised for the sake of a slick cheetah mode, Tigertron feels like his robot mode was copy-pasted right from the original show model. The proportions are spot on, all the details are present, and the teal is very shiny, almost like it was reflecting light like metal. He does have a pair of beast legs hanging off the back, but that is show accurate for both him and Cheetor. But his legs fold up and store so much nicer than Cheetor's. He also comes with their very noble gut gun that they both wielded in the show, while his tail detaches to form a whip as well. While the robot mode is practically perfect, the tiger mode is looking a little whippy in the leg department when looking at the show model. Somewhere has to get compromised. The other thing though is that all of the beast modes in the Kingdom line are trying to look like real life animals as opposed to their show designs. For Tigertron, that includes all of this yellowed plastic. This is because real white tigers aren't pure white and have patches of light blonde fur throughout. And yeah, the original toy looked that way also. However, from a collector's perspective, it feels like it has been partially sun bleached with how the yellow is applied, so it puts me off tiger mode a bit. But overall, good job, Hasbro. Number 6. Kingdom Cyclonus. Though subservient to Galvatron in the original cartoon, Kingdom Cyclonus comes out ahead of Galvatron in this list. And how could he not? The Cyclonus toy that was released in 2008 is well regarded for its design, but this toy knocks it right out of the park. His articulation has been improved. His transformation leaves both robot and space jet super clean, a particular rarity for jet formers. The best part is how the friggin' nose cone completely folds in on itself to store cleanly in the chest, and you'd be none the wiser that he's got a nose longer than Pinocchio's. There are only two real negative things I can say about this toy. One, the knees don't lock into place and can make him look a bit awkward if you don't position them in the right way. Two, the panels on the sides of his cockpit don't sit flush against the rest of it. With the gaps happening there as they are, it's clearly supposed to fit better, but it's not hard to imagine it as some form of jet intake. Intake. This is a solid space jet man that I've managed to see animated super well. I probably can't do this toy stop motion justice, but I implore you to take a look at the Lazy Eyebrows review of Cyclonus and see the stop motion spectacle he puts on with that. Honestly amazing. Number 5. Kingdom Optimus Primal. The big bot boss monkey himself, the original monkey, not Shrek. Optimus Primal comes swinging in with one stunning figure. The details on him, including all of the fur detailing, is incredibly well done. While he's a little bit on the smaller side of other Voyagers we've seen, he comes fully loaded. Not only does he wield his distinct swords, but has 2 fold-out shoulder cannons from his backpack, as well as a set of 4-arm-mounted blasters that blend in so well you almost can't tell something's supposed to pop out. Even though his beast mode details can be seen in robot mode, it doesn't undercut his overall appearance. His gorilla mode looks really good, especially as he can be posed on all fours or on his hind legs. Unfortunately, to accommodate that play functionality, you have to convert his legs into 2 different positions for different gorilla postures. And the panel of molded fur only does a somewhat okay job of covering up the robo bits that it was designed to. Also, the chest panel is fairly gappy in Big Bot mode. Overall, I think it does what it can to make the beast mode look cohesive with not too many robot bits hanging out. What else can I say about this figure then? It's just prime! Number 4. Kingdom Soundwave. Showing up at the newest small-sized price point, Kingdom Core Class Soundwave is ready to rumble. While we recently got a really fantastic Soundwave at a more standard height last year, this toy perfectly miniaturizes everything that makes Soundwave Soundwave. He's got the colors, he's got the details, he's got the weapons. He even has a tape deck chest door that opens and comes with his cassette bird friend, Laserbeak. He can't transform, but this toy is already doing a lot, and that would be a super tiny birdbot mode. Along with Soundwave's excellent robot mode, Soundwave's transformation is fluid and quick. Perfect for this pocket Soundwave that you can take anywhere with you. Ideal deskbot material right here. On the original toy, the weapons were stored in his battery compartment. That's not the case here, but they do store on the back of the cassette player, and even manage to provide it a bit more stable support. The only negative things I can say about this toy is that his feet don't fully fold away in alt mode, and he can't pose his arm like he's opening his tape deck door. Despite that, this might have been the best bang for my buck this year. We still have 3 more toys that rank ahead of Soundwave though, so they must be good. Number 3. Studio Series 86, Grimlock. Finally something not from the Kingdom line. Though he is king. Sorry. Him king. Dinobot leader Grimlock is at his peak in this toy. Like Galvatron, he just had a G1 update a few years ago. While Galvatron's was certainly worse, Grimlock's was still held back by the line's gimmick, which was most noticeable in Dino mode. Like, Dino Grim is normally thick, but this is too thick. This Grimmy, though, definitely the correct thick. He's definitely not a modern T-Rex. But are you going to tell this Mechagodzilla that he's not a T-Rex? No? Didn't think so. It does transform like you'd expect, but I must acknowledge how cleanly that tail packs away in his robo-calves. And his robo-arms do something very simple, but very ingenious. They pull double duty as robot arms and as dino legs, so they need both elbows and knees. While you could have a single joint that has a 180-degree range to do that, instead the limbs have 2 joints that are completely independent of each other. The benefit of this is it allows for more natural-looking arm bends when using the elbow joint, or similarly appropriate leg bends at the knee joints. And I think it really does work. The only complaints I have are the empty forearms, the missing front dino teeth, and the very, very smoky chest plate. Fortunately, I fixed these issues with a custom toy kit developed by Not Enough Productions. Despite these flaws, Grimlock still rules. Yes, I know he comes with Wheelie, but I hate how he was implemented, and I forgot about him until I was finishing up the script, so we're just gonna move on, okay? Number 2. Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. Dare to believe you can survive. You can win if you dare. Well, maybe not win, but certainly get second place. Hot Rod comes in hot. Get it? In this release, pulling out all the stops they can with the increased size class budget. They not only got the top sections of the car to fold in supremely nicely into the chest, not only gave him hands that could hold the included matrix of leadership like in the film, not only gave him his original toys blasters and his saw blade and torch welder from the film, not only gave him his flip down visor, but they went ahead and managed to recreate a scene from the film where Hot Rod's arms twist around 180 degrees before fully converting to car mode. I know some people complain about how small Transformers are getting nowadays, but this is a good example of where they used the budget to give everyone what they would want out of a Hot Rod toy. Well, except maybe the fishing pole. My only real complaint about the guy is sometimes I can't get the panels on the back of his thighs to tab in securely for reasons unknown to me. Also, you can't store all of his accessories on him. That's it. Hot Rod definitely has the touch, but did not have the power to claim the top spot on this list this year. But before we get to number 1, let's do some honorable mentions, though somewhat differently. As you can tell, I found this year's Kingdom line and the very similar Studio Series 86 subline to be fantastic, superb even. And looking over my options for runner-ups, yeah, there were still a lot of these guys hogging the spotlight. So instead, my honorable mentions are going to be awards for the best of X thing, like the Tonys or something. If you think I missed a category that should have been mentioned, it would have been given to someone that already showed up on the list. And now for the honorable mentions. Best of the Micro Transformers. This category is for any very small Transformers obtained in 2021. This award goes to Cyberverse Tiny Turbochanger's Alpha Strike for the character this toy represents and how much weight and heft this little figure has. Best Cyberverse Toy. This category is for any and all toys related to the Transformers Cyberverse cartoon, which sadly seems to be ending this year. This award goes to Deluxe Class Starscream for being a very solid figure and his amazing blast effect pieces. Best Retro or Vintage Toy. This category is for any figures from series past that I obtained during 2021. This award goes to Animated Rodimus Minor for a cool and slick car mode with a very neat transformation. Best Collaborative Series Figure. This category is for any figures released under the Transformers Collaborative line, featuring crossovers with popular media. This award goes to Gigawatt, based on the DeLorean from the Back to the Future movies, for the stunning attention to detail, and giving it a hover form as well as the iconic DeLorean opening doors. Quick shout out to Jay Galvatron, who is just so out of left field but is so fun with the colors and those rainbow effects. Best Studio Series Figure. This final category is for all of the live action related toys released in the Studio Series line. This award goes to Thrust for not only being an excellent figure just like the similar Blitzwing and Starscream, but for being an Armada reference as opposed to one from the original Transformers cartoon. And now, for the best Transformers toy of 2021, it's number 1, Kingdom Air Razor. Air Razor stoops to conquer, and conquer she has. I've sung the praises of many of the Beast Bots in the Kingdom series, but Air Razor by far takes the cake. The other beasts definitely have realistically molded fur, but the sculpt work on the feathers has got to be the best on anything from this year. I'm no falconeer, but you can clearly see 3 distinct layers of feathers that would be found on such a bird of prey. And look at that wingspan, as well as the intentionally designed curve of the wing to make her look like she's flying. You can absolutely position her to have her wings flap by using not the 1, not the 2, but the 3 hinge joints on her wings to give them as realistic of a bend as possible for a toy to achieve. They're so well articulate that she can even fold them up against her body and it looks good. Oh, and with robot mode. You'd think wings this large would be sticking out of the back of the robot mode, meaning that it couldn't even look close to the cartoon's model with barely any wings on there. Well, with those 3 hinge joints I mentioned before, and the rotation at the wings' ends, they store on her back better than many live-action movie figures' car roofs. It's certainly not one-to-one, but when looking at what the wings are capable of, this is a fantastic job! And did they do Airazor's robot mode absolute justice? This is the first time an Airazor figure based on the show design was even attempted, and they knocked it right out of the park. The face especially, with the paint as seemingly metallic as her partner's own face. As for the capabilities of the figure itself, the articulation is what every figure of her size gets, but has completely unrestricted leg movement because the crotch panel can lift up to not get in the way of the hips. Black Arachnia! With all of this articulation in both limbs and wings, you can get so many different yet awesome looking poses. You can even make her into a bird person if you want. Hasbro's photographers sure did. I'm not even certain that I have any complaints I can make. The bird is the word, and my word in my totally factual objective statement. Airazor is the best Transformers toy I got in 2021.